islands are fun, right? You can go kayaking, scuba diving, hula dancing, etc. Now, have you ever thought to yourself, yeah, that all sounds amazing, but if only this island was My Little Pony themed? Probably not, but that didn't stop people from trying to bring this idea into fruition anyways. So this is the story of the Island of Equestria Project. Our story starts off in the fresh and mystical year of 2012. The entire Coney fiasco was going on, Brave premiered in theaters, everyone thought that the world was literally going to come to an end, but much more importantly, My Little Pony Friendship is Magic second season recently came to a close. Though, by this time, Friendship is Magic had garnered quite a fanbase, consisting of grown men. Now, while this may not be the case anymore, the average brony from this time frame is generally depicted as a sad and lonely individual who wishes to escape the horrors of reality to rather live in the magical and happy world of Equestria. Speaking from experience. Following this, these geniuses, going by Cliff and Colton C, one day must have thought, yo, what if Equestria became a reality? Yeah. But how? I've actually done some scientific studies to bring all the characters to life. All we need is we should buy an island and simply name it Equestria. And so this Indiegogo campaign was created. If you don't know what Indiegogo is exactly, basically it's a website where you can start a campaign for a project or a product. And you can set up incentives so that people donate to it. So let's take a look at the Island of Equestria's campaign and see if it was a project worth investing in at all. The Island of Equestria. Have you ever thought, hey, it would be really cool if there were an island named Equestria somewhere? Well, if you have, that's why this campaign is here. In addition to naming the island Equestria, the goal here is to construct a monument as similar to the one Celestia raised the sun in front of in the Cutie Mark Chronicles episode as possible on the island. Additional structures modeled after other structures of interest in the show will also be investigated. However, additional structures are entirely subject to change based on how much funding this campaign receives. Ignoring how badly that last paragraph was worded, let's dissect this a little. From what it's saying so far, it seems as if all this campaign was really offering was the act of buying an island and giving it a quirky name and maybe adding a statue thing. Whatever, they'll probably elaborate and give us better incentives to donate, right? Let's continue reading. What needs to happen? The goal set on this campaign is the bare minimum to purchase a decently sized island and construct the structure mentioned above, as well as acquire any appropriate licensing from copyright holders should it be required. Any funds above the required will go towards a larger island and constructing more and better structures on the island. At this point, I wonder how much it would actually even cost to buy an island. I mean, I'm assuming these two knuckleheads were planning on buying an island rather than venturing out in the wild and finding a completely undiscovered one, right? Okay, so apparently, after doing some searching, there are some islands that seem to be way cheaper than I would have expected. So at this point, I'm not really sure why the heck their goal was $600,000. I'm sure there's property tax and all that, but whatever. Maybe if any of you guys watching own a private island yourself, you can let me know down in the comments. And also invite me for a party there, because that sounds awesome. What will happen? The island will be dedicated entirely to the Brony phenomenon, and once it is completed, it will be used in every way possible to support the community. As a meeting place, as a getaway, as a convention location, whatever needs are presented, it will be used to meet as many as possible. Anything from a small boat to decently sized ferry or ship may be acquired for use in transporting guests to and from the island for community-related functions. However, the function of the transport is dependent on both the amount of funds this campaign receives and the location of the island itself. We have various islands which are up for sale in mind, however, the one selected is entirely dependent on the success of this campaign. The higher the better, more money will allow for bigger islands, better locations, and better structures on the island. Keep in mind that this campaign is set to fixed funding. If the goal is not met, all contributions will be refunded. At least the last part where it says that it's set to fixed funding and all donations will be refunded if the goal isn't met suggests that this whole thing wasn't a scam. So that's good. But speaking of monetary stuff, let's see what kind of rewards Colton C and Cliff would bestow on donators. $1, the dollar. We'll keep you updated on the going-ons of the island via mailing list. This seems like something that should be provided for free on the campaign page, but okay. $5. Student. A set of pictures taken of the island will be emailed to you once the monuments and structures are complete. Once again, this also seems like something that should be, provided for free on the campaign page if these people people want to build up some credibility of the project actually making progress. $50. Royal Student. A picture of the completed Summer Sun Celebration monument will be mailed to you once it is complete. Jumping from $5 to $50, we've got this amazing incentive that you would have assumed to be included along with the previous tier, but I guess not. What's odd about this is how this tier implies that they would make more structures than just the sun thing. I mean, if the $5 tier will get you pictures of them, surely, right? However, earlier it said that other structures would only be made if they exceeded the goal. Quite odd. $100. Royal Guard. A framed picture of the completed monument will be mailed to you. Also includes the $5 perk. Basically, there's nothing too new about this tier. You're basically just paying an extra $50 for a picture frame. $250. Royal Camper. Invitation to a 3-day camp out on the island upon completion. This does not include travel expense beyond the boat ride between the nearest dock and the island itself. What are you talking about? If I'm donating this much money, I literally wouldn't have anything left for travel expenses. $500. Captain of the Royal Guard. In addition to the previous perks, your name will be listed on a plaque placed on an island to commemorate your generosity. I mean, this one kind of sounds like a steal. You're basically stealing from them at this price, at this rate. $1,000. Cadence. In addition to all previous perks, you will be given a group tour of the island once it is complete, or prior to completion at request. You will also be invited to a week-long campout with others who met this perk. Less travel expense depending on your geographical location. You will also get progress pictures emailed to you, as well as kept up to date on the island's construction status on a personal basis. Ignoring the fact that you're asking for 10 Benjamins while not even having the professional courtesy to make sure you spelled Cadence's name correctly, since the official My Little Pony channel does make the exact same mistake, what makes you think that I want to spend a full week camping with people like this? $5,000. Luna. You will receive a personal tour of the island, the week-long campout, and all previous perks. Okay, I have to ask. Why would you spend $5,000 for a private tour? Wouldn't that be extremely awkward and boring? And last but not least, $7,500. Celestia. We will value your input on everything from the planning to construction of the island. You will have input on everything from how the structures look to where we put them on the island. In addition to this, you will receive all previous perks. For much more money than I'll ever see in my entire lifetime, you get to apparently decide on how this island is gonna look. Listen, if you're actually able to float $7,500, I would imagine you have a job, right? If you have a job, can you realistically take the time out of your day to run an island and actually think about how it's gonna look? Probably not. Whatever, what's next? How can I help besides donating? Knowledge is power. The more you spread the word of this campaign around, the more donations can be received, and the more likely it will be to succeed. $1 may not seem like much, but just imagine the amount of funds that could be raised if every lover of the ponies donated one. Well, I guess I did my fair share of the deed by making this video. Colton, C, and Cliff, if you guys are watching this video by any chance, I better get a private tour of this island. Now, you're probably wondering, did this actually come anywhere close to succeeding? Well, I'm happy to say it raised the grand total of $130. No, not 130,000, just straight up 130. Plus, let's take a gander at what onlookers had to say about this magnificent and creative project. They can't be serious about this, are they? I mean, it's one thing to love and enjoy the show, but this is a bit absurd to me. As cool as this sounds, it may be going a little too far. This is a terrible idea. I'm not the type of pony to discourage anyone from their dreams, but I have to agree with you, Wolf. This truly is a bad idea. This is an awful idea. Don't give money to it. Also, let's see what this random YouTube video has to say.
Now, what really actually makes this project that rubs with me the wrong way is how over the top this sounds. 'Cause, well, they're trying to make an entire island based off of My Little Pony. It just seems really stupid to me that Bronies would ever want to make an entire island based on My Little Pony. No matter how you look at it, it just looks ridiculous. I am FireSkull19. See you guys later.
The only person who really seemed enthusiastic about this project was the voice of Twilight Sparkle, Tara Strong. But anyways, what exactly is the lesson here? Well, I'm not entirely sure, because if this entire campaign wasn't a cheeky joke or whatever, then I suppose the lesson here is that some people try taking their love for something to unrealistic heights. Seriously, like, if this was an actual serious attempt, then I would at least expect the name of the island they were looking at buying to be on the campaign page. I sincerely hope that this was a joke, but on the internet, it's impossible to distinguish sometimes unless if the creators come forward and tell us themselves. Personally though, I'm not too bummed out that this never came into fruition, since apparently Equestria already exists in South Africa. Time to start saving funds for a trip there. And no, by the way, I'm not actually at an island right now, this is just a green screen. And before anyone jumps to conclusions, I apologize for maybe being too negative in this video. I just thought that this entire thing was ridiculous. I know I sounded really anti-Brony for a second, but I'm not. I love the show and stuff. So yeah. Until next time, this is F- signing out.